Welcome back to Align Vitality. I'm Tanya, your host. And if you're anything like me or the women I talk with every day, you've probably spent years patching together health advice from Google searches or podcasts or the latest diet book. And while some of it may help for a little while, nothing really seems to stick. Here's the truth. Trying to heal without a personalized plan is like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instruction manual. You've got a pile of parts, but no clear idea of how they all fit together. Well, today we're diving into what a personalized wellness plan actually looks like and why it's the missing link for so many midlife women who feel stuck, tired, and frustrated. Do you want to recharge your energy, renew your mental clarity, and rebalance your hormones? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to Align Vitality, the podcast that offers faith and functional health strategies for high-achieving, health-conscious professional women in midlife. I'm your host, Tanya Ingesother, a certified functional health practitioner, leadership coach, and fellow midlife woman who knows what it's like to look strong on the outside while struggling silently on the inside. Here, we get real about anxiety, brain fog, belly fat, burnout, and hormone challenges that women face in perimenopause. And more importantly, we talk about the path to healing. Each week, you'll find practical strategies and faith-fueled encouragement to help you restore your God-given energy, peace, and joy. If you're ready to stop pushing through and start thriving in the abundant life you were created for, let's get after it. This is Align Vitality. Symptoms are really valuable clues, but they're not the whole story. Fatigue, weight gain, bloating, anxiety, brain fog, they are signals, not solutions. Two women may complain both of the same symptom, let's say fatigue or exhaustion. And woman A is struggling because her cortisol is flatlined after years of overfunctioning, while woman B has hidden gut infections that are stealing her nutrients and overtaxing her immune system. If both women simply treat the fatigue with some more coffee or a few better sleep tips, neither one is going to get much better, if at all. Personalized wellness plans go deeper. They connect the dots between symptoms and underlying root causes. This is the first mindset shift I want you to hear. Your symptoms aren't random, they're signals that are asking for strategy. This is where functional diagnostic testing changes the game. Unlike conventional labs that look for disease, functional labs zoom in on how the body is actually functioning as a whole. Here are a few examples of functional labs that we often use with clients. And this is just a few. There's a whole list of things depending on the individual picture and need and desire. We might look at hormone and stress panels, not just a single snapshot of estrogen, but a whole picture of how your reproductive and stress hormones are working or not really working together. We get an idea of what hormones are actually available for your body to use and how your body has been impacted at a hormonal level by years of chronic stress. One of my favorite tests in terms of the wealth of information you get is called a GI map. Think of this as your guts report card. This is a picture of, it's a test that uses a stool sample, so it's kind of a picture of whether or not there's overgrowth of bad bacteria, undergrowth of good bacteria, maybe even some parasites or hidden viruses. It tells us if you are breaking down your food properly. So it's really a lot of information that points to what's going on in your gut, which is really the starting place of the health of the rest of your body. Your gut is where the outside world meets the inside world. And if your gut isn't processing that which comes in properly, or it's letting bad things into your circulation, that's going to have a whole cascade of negative effects on every other body system. We might look at food sensitivity testing like the Oxford MRT. Sometimes what we think of as healthy foods are the very ones that are keeping inflammation alive in your body, usually because of a leaky gut. So this test shows us 176 different foods and whether or not your body is sensitive or reactive to them and to what degree. And that is whether or not you've eaten them ever or recently or not. It's really helpful in knowing what things to avoid while attempting to heal an inflamed or leaky gut. I really like something called a metabolic wellness profile, and this one looks at oxidative stress that has impacted your body, which of course is basically what leads to the aging of every cell and tissue of our body. It looks at detoxification, or how well your liver and other detox pathways are functioning, and if and how well you are digesting protein, which is essential to the production of all of the chemical messengers that allow your body to function at a cellular level. It helps us see if your cells are thriving or gasping for air. The power of these tests isn't just the data, it's how the data connects back to your story. Many people find it very validating because they have all these symptoms that maybe they've tried to get help with in terms of conventional medicine, but they aren't sick enough yet that anything shows up on traditional lab data as being, quote, abnormal, which really means they aren't yet bad enough to be at a disease state. So in functional health, once we have the data, we don't stop there. The secret sauce is really taking those results and pairing them with a framework that's very holistic, but also realistic. We look at diet optimization, not restriction, but precision. Eating in ways that lower inflammation and align with your body's needs. For some, that's balancing blood sugar. For others, it's removing sensitivities that we uncover on the lab data. We look at rest. In other words, are you getting good quality sleep and enough of it to allow your body to repair? More than sleep, it's the rhythms of restoration. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Every other effort to rebuild your health will be almost futile if you are not prioritizing sleep. And it isn't just the amount of sleep, it's the quality and the environment that you create for sleep. We talk about individualized recommendations for exercise, so matching movement to what your body can handle. For women who are in what we call an exhaustive phase of HPA axis dysfunction, formerly known as adrenal fatigue, which is kind of incorrect and not really telling the whole story. But anyway, for women who are in that exhaustive phase, doing CrossFit 6 days a week is going to be like gasoline on the fire. Sometimes the strategy needs to start with walking and an appropriate amount of resistance training before looking at increasing intensity. Otherwise, we're just going to be taxing the body beyond a point that it can handle, and it's going to be adding to the stress placed on your body, and it's going to compromise healing. We talk a lot about stress reduction, and this goes deeper than bubble baths. It's nervous system regulation. Depending on the individual, it might include prayer or breathing practices, time in God's Word, different mechanisms of regulating your nervous system, and learning to step off the hamster wheel of people-pleasing. It also might mean reducing, I shouldn't say might, it really does also mean reducing the number of external toxins that are adding stress to the body. We have external toxins coming at us from all different directions every day of the week in the form of chemicals that we take in, breathe in, put on our bodies. We also have toxin in people that are coming at us and stressing our bodies and our nervous systems. And finally, we talk about supportive supplementation, not popping a bunch of supplements forever, not random based on individual symptoms, but really targeted supplementation. The right adaptogens or digestive enzymes or liver support or gut support based on the evidence we see in the lab data and on individual symptoms. So it's really a targeted and personalized approach to supplementation to help support your healing efforts. So when these areas are all combined and aligned, healing isn't just possible, it is very much expected. I can attest to feeling a change in energy within just a few weeks of starting my own functional health journey, and I continue to see improvement in multiple areas of health as I continue. I went into it kind of wondering, okay, how am I going to make it 90 days of doing some of the lifestyle changes we talked about in my training? But I've quickly realized that many of the things will remain lifestyle choices for me long term because of how much different and better I feel. Functional health building is truly about intentional lifestyle strategy to build health versus just chasing individual symptoms or putting band-aids over a symptom. Now, because I am who I am and this show is what it is, I can't talk about health strategy without talking about God. He didn't design us to burn out in midlife or to feel at war with our bodies. He designed us with built-in healing systems that thrive when given the right conditions. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5 tells us to take every thought captive. Now that applies not just spiritually but physically, because when our minds dwell in constant fear or worry, our bodies respond as if we are under attack. Personalized wellness isn't just about food and supplements. It's about aligning body, mind, and spirit with God's design. Real healing requires alignment with God's design, with your food, your rest, your movement, your boundaries, and your community of support. It takes a team. That team might be your family, maybe learning to eat differently with you, or at least supporting the changes you're making. It might be your coworkers respecting your new boundaries, or a coach walking with you step by step. A thriving body is like a thriving culture at work or at home. It isn't built by accident. It is built by intentional choices, repeated consistently, with everyone playing a role to support progress. So friend, if you're tired of the hamster wheel, if you want to stop putting out symptom fires and start building health strategy, this is your moment. I'd love to help you take that next step. If you're ready to commit to building health and you want to learn if functional health coaching with me is right for you, go to alignedvitalityhealth.com and book a free discovery call. If you do decide that coaching with me is the right thing for you, we'll use data, not guesswork. We will honor your story, and together we'll build a strategy that's realistic, grace-filled, and life-giving. Remember, your symptoms are not the end of the story. With strategy, they can be the very beginning of your healing. Midlife does not have to be a crisis. It really can be your comeback. Until next time, my friends, lead well, live well, and be well. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. If today's episode encouraged or blessed you, would you please take a minute to leave a rating and written review on Apple Podcasts? It means the world to me, and it helps more women like you discover this message of hope and healing. If you're ready to take the next step in your functional health journey, join my interest list at alignedvitalityhealth.com. And remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical advice, nor is it intended to diagnose or treat disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your health. Until next time, I'm Tanya Ingesheather, reminding you that healing is possible and your best season is still ahead.